You know, that picture on the right, that's like from 10 years ago.
People like old school though. Some things just shouldn't change. Time I
Prove me wrong. All right. We're flying, right, Aldo? We're flying. Right on, right on, right on. Yeah, that's what Rush used to say. Right on, right on. The other guy that we, Hollywood guy, the all right. I don't even think I can say it because it's copyrighted. Welcome to another edition of the Pulse of the 956. And we've been doing several conversations of late with folks who are courageously in the fight. They're in the mix, and which I always encourage you guys to listen to KURV and Talk Radio. You guys are conservative. You're running business, and you're keeping your family, your checkbook in the black, and your business in the black, and making payroll. And yes, having to pay all those taxes. All these politicians misspending up in D.C. and elsewhere. Yeah, get in the fight. Run for office. Sacrifice a season or two of your life to do that. For me, it's an honor to welcome back our Congresswoman from District 34, the miracle candidate from just a few years back. She beat the Democrats. She went to Congress and made history. Mayra Flores, Congresswoman, I want to say that title again very soon, Congresswoman for District 34, which looks very different. We'll touch all that here. Join us on this podcast. Share it so folks can meet the candidates, understand the issues that are at play. Mayra, let's do a quick rewind. A few years back, the victory heard around the American congressional political world, the history that you set just a few years back, 2022.
Yeah.
A special election.
It was an earthquake.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal. You know, we flipped a district that had not been flipped in over 100 years. This was a district that Biden had won by 4 points. And so I saw it within reach. Republicans invested. We had the funds to get our message, our conservative message, throughout the entire district. And Hispanics have always been very conservative, and they realized that they were Republican, and we won their support. Unfortunately, redistricting happened at the same time, so I had the honor to serve the people of Texas District 34. But in the middle of that, they redrew the lines, and they drew the district to a Biden plus 17, meaning that Biden had won that seat by 17 points. Made it practically almost impossible. We stayed in the fight. We cut it in half in 2022. And then in 2024, we lost by only 2 points.
That is an amazing miracle. Yeah.
And that is just heart and dedication, hard work. I didn't do it on my own. Team Mayra, the most hardworking team in the country, I say. We knocked on over 300,000 doors.
Wow.
Made over $1 million.
How big was that team then that went all the door knocking and all that? Ballpark figure. Do you recall, like all the volunteers and?
Yes, I mean my sister was door knocking every single day. She was my number one door knocker back in 2022 and in 2024. She was knocking 25 to 30,000 doors.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
For Psycho, she's amazing and she's passionate about it and she loves it, and that's why she continues to
You
to
only
work
have one
for me.
sister. You only have one sister.
No, I have 3 sisters.
Yeah. But she's your favorite, obviously, right?
No, I can't say that, Adriana.
Because the other two also work in the campaign, probably. Congresswoman.
And
Mayra
Rosie
Flores
also,
running.
she does door knocking,
Yeah.
and Yudi on the weekends as well has helped me as well. All of them have helped me, in one way or another. But Adriana's dedicated every single day. Right now, she's block walking in Bronzeville.
Yeah. Former Congresswoman Mayra Flores running Republican, running for the nomination. And election day is coming up, man. It'll be the 17th of February to the 27th for early voting. And then, of course, March 3rd, primary. And we can't say this enough. Republicans, patriots, you guys who voted for Trump, you need to get your butts out there. We cannot have another Texas Senate District 9 embarrassment because every Republican, all the Trump voters, we'll pass on this one. No, senor.
No.
The country's at stake.
Just because President Trump is not on the ballot doesn't mean that we shouldn't care. This isn't just about President Trump. This is about our children, the future generations. President Trump is not going to be in the ballot anymore. And this fight has never been about one person. It's been about all of us. It's beyond, just President Trump.
In the conversations, and I've mentioned this to you and other folks who are in the same scenario, looking at voter turnout. My friend Dana Lash was going on and on the other day about this. We're examining what took place in North Texas in the Fort Worth area in the Senate District 9 where they didn't show up to vote.
They didn't, but at the same time, these candidates cannot just rely on endorsements. Mm-hmm. An endorsement is not you securing that win. You gotta knock on doors. Yeah. You gotta make the phone calls.
You gotta push.
And so a lot of candidates just rely on endorsements. And I've had all these endorsements before, and I truly believe that endorsements don't win elections. It's you knocking doors, you talking directly to the voters, and of course, raising the funds to be able to do that. But you got to sweat. You got to put in the work on the ground, and you got to get your message across the district. And so it's beyond getting endorsements. Endorsements not going to get you in office. So we have an obligation as candidates to mobilize and excite our base, excite the voters.
As I've been examining
just like President Trump did, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that was an amazing wave. Mm-hmm. But as President Trump is not on the ballot, but there's one reality that we have to look at as Republicans, as conservatives, as patriots, as Trump supporters. The agenda is a healing agenda for the economy, for border security. We want his agenda to succeed. So I've been positioning it this way for all these people that say that they're not going to show up. I tell you what, if you do not show up to vote this go around, if you voted for Donald Trump and you don't show up to vote, Donald Trump loses.
Correct. And you erase all the work that he's been doing because he's passing a lot of executive orders, but we're not making those executive orders into laws. Mm-hmm. And so if we do not have a stronger majority in the House, it's going to be very difficult for us to make those executive orders into laws. And then, God forbids, a Democrat wins the White House, he will come in or she will come in and erase all the hard work President Trump has been doing. And so it's beyond that. It's important that people understand the importance of
scary thought.
It is, but it's a reality.
You said the she's that they've been throwing up of late. Oh, Lord, Jesus, please save us. No, it's not the she's that the Democrats have been proposing of late.
It's a reality. It could become a reality. It could become a nightmare. But that is why we prepare ourselves in passing strong legislation right now that we have control in the House and in the Senate and the White House.
Mayra Flores is running for Congress. Republicans, voted. You need to get your butts out there and vote.
Yes.
It's primary time. Here we go. It's a March 3rd primary. Early vote starts on the 17th. Let's touch on several issues. I wrote down immigration and enforcement, the way things are. Your thoughts on what's taking place right now? I'm sure you're getting a lot of questions as you go door knocking in Corpus Christi area and down here in Brownsville as well, Harlingen as well.
Well, believe it or not, the main issue in the district is the economy, and of course, water throughout the entire district for the people of Tex 34 and our farmers and our ranchers and many construction companies as well and businesses. But immigration is something that is being talked a lot on social media. and on news networks and creating a lot of division in this country, when in reality our men and women in Border Patrol and ICE agents are just enforcing the laws that have already been in place. President Trump has not put in place a new law. And most of the people that are being deported got a deportation order under the Biden administration. They're actually following through a Biden order. These people knew that they were coming after them because they got an order of deportation under the Biden administration. Most of these individuals do have a criminal background. Doesn't matter if you do not have status in this country, the likely chances of you getting deported have always been there. It's not because President Trump is in office. Barack Obama was the deporter in chief, deported more illegal immigrants than President Trump. Tom Homan was the director of ICE appointed by Barack Obama. The same individual is now working for President Trump and is in charge of the deportations.
There's a lot of
So
pictures out
I
there.
just
Tom
see a lot
Homan.
of hypocrisy from the left. They're creating a lot of fear, a lot of hate, a lot of division, a lot of misinformation being spread. I respect you having the right to protest, but you don't have the right to assault our men and women that are just there to enforce the laws that have already been there for a long time, that Congress put in place.
Yes, sir.
You know?
And Tom Homan, I seem to recall him receiving a nice medal
He did.
from President Obama for all the work that he did.
President Obama awarded him because of all the amazing job he did under his administration with deportations. And President Trump was very impressed and said, hey, doesn't matter that you worked under the Obama administration. You did a good job. Would love for you to work for me in this administration. And now he's working under President Trump.
Yes, ma'am. It's Mayra Flores, Republican Mayra Flores, running for the nomination in Congress District 34, which has been redrawn, as you touched on this earlier.
Once again.
Yeah, again, right? Like over and over and over.
This is like my third map in
But
4
see,
years.
this map is key because this map is drawn for a Republican to win. And
right. And I don't want people to think I take it for granted. No, you're right. Just because I wear the GOP label, I'm not entitled to anyone's vote. I'm going to work hard and earned it, just like I've worked hard since 2021. And no one has worked harder than Team Mayra. And so I'm here to finish what we started back in 2021. This November, elections are going to change, I believe, both parties. Because just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean your base is going to vote for you. Just because you're a Republican and you wear the GOP label doesn't mean the base is going to vote for you. If you are a mediocre elected official at the state level, at the local level, at the federal level, they're coming after you. So it's important that you get the job done, that Republicans in the House get the job done, because if not, we could potentially lose the House.
any criticism, anyone saying, well, she went up in the general election. Let's go back again to what you said. In 2022, the general election, with Chente, who needs to come home. A dude needs to come home because I think he gives too much license, too many votes. So the radical left, the Democrat Party today is not what it was. It was +4 Biden. Anyway, the way it was drawn then, it was 4%, four clicks more for Biden than Trump. It was redrawn again, as you said, +14 +16.
17.
Plus a la torre, plus 17 Biden. And you came in within 2 clicks of sending Vicente Gonzalez home. Now it is plus Republican, it's plus 10. Trump 10. It doesn't mean anything if what you just said happens. People do not go out and vote and get back in there.
I'm not just assuming just because President Trump won the seat that I'm going to automatically win in November. No, I'm going to run for November as if I'm losing. I'm going to put the same amount of hard work that I did in 22 and in 2024 because I want to slam dunk that win in November.
I think in previous conversations, the topic came up on how your heartfelt desire and your support for President Trump is to take this agenda to the next level, which is border security, which is prosperity, which America first, trade, America
first.
first manufacturing. You got to get in there and swing for the fences on behalf of the administration to protect the agenda. Otherwise, again, if we lose the House, if we lose the United States House of Representatives because Trump voters did not show up, that's it. It's over. The last 2 years.
It hurts our pockets.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things happening around the world, but we do need to prioritize our own families. We want to help everyone, but you have to help yourself first. And so I truly believe in the America first, in Texas District 34 first, prioritizing ourselves. I want to see prosperity in our area. I don't want to see our kids, grandkids leave South Texas for better opportunities. Why can't they stay here and accomplish the American dream? There's a lot of people on government assistance in our district. I can't tell people to get off of government assistance when we're not creating opportunities for them to get off of government assistance. And the only way to do that is by bringing good paying jobs to this area to give the people of Texas 34 more opportunities. There's a lot of people that benefit off of us being poor in Washington.
Yeah, because it's a voting class. It's dependent on you as a
right.
government.
They want to be able to continue
them, yeah.
manipulate us,
Yes.
but also are enlisting in the military. Our young men and girls here in South Texas are more likely to join the military because of their current situation, right? Because of the poverty. They want to get out of South Texas for better opportunities. So South Texas actually has a very high enlisting in the military. A lot of our young boys and young girls joined the military. We have a very high enlisting in South Texas, and I'm very proud of that. But at the same time, I never want our young boys, young girls to feel forced or pressured to join the military because they don't have no more options because of the poverty levels in South Texas. So a lot of people benefit off of us being poor so they can get more young boys and young girls to join the military.
It's good to see.
And that bothers me. That bothers me.
No, I hear you. And
that bothers me a lot.
Yeah. What is wonderful to see is the new era, the new age of prosperity that we see in the Valley like never before, where for example, the type of energy that Democrats, there's a lunatic religion of climate change and get rid of all traditional fuels. Well, there's a different sheriff in town, President Donald Trump, pushing back against all that ignorance. And we have the energy to provide for the fuel to get back and forth to work.
We have the common sense.
And the jobs as well.
A lot of this is just common sense.
Yeah.
I unfortunately, a lot of people on the Democrat side have lost common sense by this whole idea of, identity politics, gender ideology, all those things that just distract us from what is really important for us here in South Texas. Most people in South Texas do not support men playing in women's sports, men going into women's restrooms, boys going into little girl spaces. We're very protective off of our little girls. And I'm also protective of our boys as well. I don't believe little girls should be playing in little boys' sports. We should protect boys' sports, men's sport, but we should also protect women's sports and our little girls as well and protect their privacy. That shouldn't even be political.
And all of those cultural, societal experiments that are headed this way, all those proposals, and that eventually translate into policy, into laws. There are crazies in this world. Whether it be in Ireland, in England, in Canada, they're prosecuting individuals who criticize any immigration policy, who misgender someone. They will prosecute. That's what they want. They have shown and that comes from leftists and Marxists, Democrats. That comes from them.
And medicating children because
castrating them. Eso. Yeah, what you were saying.
And medicating them because if they medicate a child, that child is likely to be under medication for the rest of their life. And so this child, this young little girl, little boy will now be a patient. It really is all about money. It really is, because those who transition have to be under medication for the rest of their life. And so they become patients, and these doctors make money off of them, make money off of our children being sick.
As is often said, follow the money. Whatever it is,
But you know what? I refuse to allow this type of ideology to ruin our children, to ruin our children's childhood. Our children are not up for sale. They're our children. And that's why parents have an obligation to be more involved in their children's lives and to instill in them values that they were instilled in themselves. Children are not born with values. You have an obligation to instill those values in them.
Mayra Flores, our former Congresswoman for District 34, again, running for Congress. The nomination, Republican. You need to show up and vote in the Republican primary. The district looks very different now than it did 2 cycles ago. 2 cycles that looked different. The last cycle, it looked different. It was all pro-Democrat, a very, very big advantage of Democrats. And, man, she came really close from taking it from them. Now it's drawn for Republicans to win. That's why we keep emphasizing.
And you know, I lost because of the mail-in ballots. I actually won all in-person voting early and election day.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yes, I lost because of the mail-in ballots.
Voter, which brings us to the topic of...
But everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that God was preparing me for this very moment.
Yeah.
And so I trust in him and why I'm in the position that I am in today.
Which I suppose you could make a comparison to... You know, we needed 4 years of lunatic, leftist, Marxist politics under Biden to show us how bad it could be.
Sometimes bad things need to happen
in order for you to appreciate what you have.
For people to appreciate, yes.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but that's just the way how the human mind works. And that's why it's important for the American people not to forget what happened under the Biden administration.
People have very short attention spans.
They do.
That's a bad thing.
They do. And it's like, don't forget what happened under the Biden administration. Don't vote for someone just because you like them or because of their personality. You need to look at their policies, because at the end of the day, you're not dealing with this person on a daily basis. But the policies that they put in place are going to ruin your pockets. You're not going to be able to pay your rent, your mortgage, credit card debt, car payments, you name it. You're not going to be able to go on a vacation like you used to, maybe. And so it affects us economically, and we all want more money in our pockets. We all want more control of our own money. And that's honestly what I want to do. I want to take the power away from the federal government and give back the power to the American people.
The quickest path to defeat poverty is a good paying job, like you were making mention.
Jobs. People need to get to work.
It's a new era of wondrous prosperity from representing, for example, the Port of Brownsville, LNG, another LNG. Thank God for our neighbor Elon Musk and SpaceX and the thousands of people. But Corpus Christi, because District 34, the way it's Corpus.
More like Elon Musk to come and invest in this area. And we have the ingredients to be successful.
Yes, we do.
You know, I want people throughout the entire country to be like, I want to move to South Texas. Like, what's going on down there? I want to be a part of that.
You know what's wonderful in the business and conversations that I have with the EDC chiefs and the folks at county and city, is that Elon Musk and LNG, the port, and they're hiring locals. Like I think between 7 and 8 of the 10 employees that they're sopping up, they're from the Valley. It's our men and women, our huercos, our UTRGV graduates in engineering. They're sopping up, and the opportunities are there now like never before. We got to protect that, because we go back to the whole issue of those who are enemies of our traditional fuels or fossil fuels, or the thing that's going to be destroying us. We need to apply common sense to that. Protect those industries, protect the port, protect LNG, protect missions to the moon, protect the ports, Corpus and
No,
Brownsville.
It's a beautiful thing to see what SpaceX is doing and how it's transforming South Texas, transforming families as well. I was there not too long ago. I was there actually last year, and it's so amazing to see, people from here, from South Texas, building all these amazing things, and they're there listening to Grupo Frontera.
That's true. You go to the factory,
they're all listening to Grupo Frontera, Intocable, Duelo, while they're building.
Wait. We got our sitting over here is our director of Spanish. Did you hear that, Mario? And they're listening to all the music.
I laughed. I was like, this is so cool. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
And I couldn't raza that are making the rockets to go to the moon. Amazing.
It was so awesome, and I couldn't record it because I was like, can I record this? And they're like, no. I just wanted to show it off. I was like, look at this is us in
Yeah.
South Texas. This is our culture.
You know what? What
we're
I'm,
so
I'm
amazing.
afraid of is that maybe El Tío will figure out how to make their own rockets go, to their garage. And the Tío will figure out how to make their own
We need to get Grupo
rockets.
Frontera to go to SpaceX.
I agree. Mayra Flores, Republican, running for Congress, District 34. I was wiggling towards the SAVE Act.
SAVE Act. Wow.
That, you know who voted with the rest of the leftists who they lock arms, goose step, march in one direction. That's one thing about the Democrats. There's never, when they vote for something, it's still that's what they lock arms, they move in one direction.
This was an
anything.
easy bill.
Yeah.
This actually has bipartisan support. There's no reason why Vicente Gonzalez voted against voter ID.
Well, and may I say something? Forgive me for interrupting you.
Yes.
The polling data, everywhere.
Everywhere. Doesn't matter.
90% Republicans, 71% Democrats, Latinos, whites, blacks, 70, 80, 85%.
Yep.
They wanted protection for the vote, ID, and make sure you are U.S.
We're the
citizens. What's so
only-
hard about that?
We're the only country. Did you know that? We're the only country that does not require voter ID
That's crazy.
in the entire world. Mexico requires voter ID.
And it has for the longest time. Forgive me for interrupting you again.
In Latin
Growing up in
America,
Reynosa, I
countries.
remember my dad and mom taking me when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, going to the polls, and yes, having to show, he was having to
A separate
el
voter ID.
comprobante, absolutely, to show that he's a citizen and he's registered. They've done that forever. That's going back like 40, 50 years.
It's just common sense that only American citizens should be able to have the right to vote. And that's the same in other countries. Why is it racist? I find that so disrespectful when they claim that minorities can't get a
That's
voter
racist.
ID.
That's racist.
That's racist.
Yeah.
You don't think I'm capable of getting a voter ID? Especially when it comes from white, left-leaning.
Yes.
These people are the worst that tell me what I should think because of my culture, because of my heritage. They think that I should vote a certain way and that I can't get a voter ID. It's just common sense. Honestly, was very disappointed, but not surprised that he did that.
Yeah. Going back to the voting block, the culture.
It still passed, though.
Yeah.
It still passed.
Yeah.
Henry
In
Cuellar.
the House.
Henry Cuellar was the only Democrat that actually voted with Republicans. The only Democrat with common sense.
I did, on my bingo card, I didn't have compliment Henry Cuellar on my to-do list today.
I'll give him credit for this. Don't agree with him on most of his policies, but he was the only Democrat that voted with Republicans on this, and that was the right vote.
Yeah. Mayra Flores is a Republican running for Congress 34, seeking that nomination in this primary election that you need to show up and vote Republican, get to the Republican voting desk and get it done. I'm running out of time here with you because I know you need to meet some people down the street. Let's touch on water one more time. That needs to be a priority from representation from the Valley to get it done either through block grants or something. The technology to fix it, the lining of the canals, the covering of the canals, the tubes, all the desal, it takes time.
It all takes time. Mexico has agreed to release the water, but we cannot be always relying on Mexico. When President Trump is no longer in office, what are we going to do? It's been like this over and over and over. Thanks to President Trump pressuring Mexico and putting in place these tariffs, Mexico has agreed to release the water. But why are we relying on Mexico? Why don't we have the power to grab our own water? And that is because of lack of technology throughout South Texas, lack of infrastructure. We don't have any reservoirs throughout South Texas, as many as Mexico. Mexico has built reservoirs all over. The governor of Nuevo León, Samuel Garcia, built a strong infrastructure to make sure that the people of Monterrey, Nuevo León, always had water. He did the right thing for his state. We here in our state need to do the right thing. I can bring the funds to Texas District 34, but we need our local elected officials, our state officials, our senators to make sure that our funds that we bring from the federal government are allocated for infrastructure. We cannot be relying on Mexico every single time. Great, they're now releasing water. Let's start building our own technology.
Thank you, Jesus. Like President Trump said, We didn't need a bipartisan immigration bill. You just need a new president. We didn't need a new water treaty. You just needed a new president. And that's why Mexico is releasing the water now, because he's holding their feet to the fire on trade and other issues and tariffs to get it done.
But what's going to happen in 2028?
Yeah,
I'm praying we have a Republican president, but what if we don't?
Yeah.
We're going to be back in the same position. That's why it's important that we start now building the infrastructure that we need to have control of our own water.
Got to grease the skids in D.C.
It's just
and
common
in
sense.
Austin as well, as quickly as possible to get it done.
This is at the state level.
Yep.
But I will be the biggest advocate for it.
It wasn't up till a few months ago I was paying attention to what's going up with our family up in Corpus and the corner that
we lost a sugar cane in South Texas.
Yeah, because of the Mexico thing.
Right. 700 jobs were lost.
Yeah.
We're not getting that back.
No, it's not coming back. And another thing, 30% of the growing capacity, the production capacity in agriculture lost because of the water that was not delivered. That may not be coming back. If we have another dry season, another hurricane season that's dry like the last one, we're going to hit like 40% loss in capacity.
2% of our farmers, feed America. We're not empowering our farmers. We are not giving them the resources and the tools that they need to feed us. Many times we're actually paying them not to farm. We're getting food that we can get here in the United States from other countries. And when we give other countries the power to feed us, we're also giving them the power to starve us. And that is why it's important for us to also,
be done here.
That it's done here. There's a lot of things that we can't grow here, right? But whatever we can, we need to make sure that it gets done.
Well, I could do without a few extra meals, as you can see on the video side. That surge, man, that dude's big. Just tell me if like I need to eat a little bit more. So yeah, we need the farmers to go ahead and ramp up production for that one. Mayra, thank you for stopping by today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Yeah. And I just want to urge everyone to go out and vote. Early voting starts February the 17th, ends on February the 27th, and election day is March 3rd. Go to my website, www.mayrafloresforcongress.com. I have all the policies, everything that I stand for, but I do have a voting record to stand on. You are not taking any chances with me. I've been in Congress before. I have a proven record to stand on, and I'm proud to say that I have an A+ America First voting record in my time of Congress.
Mayra Flores for Congress.
For Congress.
MayraFloresForCongress.com. Mayra Flores, Congresswoman, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you so much.
Lord bless you, protect your family, give you wisdom as you continue the fight.
Amen.
And I'm Sergio Sanchez. Thanks again for joining us on all the social platforms. We'll repost this several times before the election. You'll see this conversation also at KURV.com, our website, prominently there with some other candidates that are also running for key races in the area. And this has been another edition of, what was it that we call it? Thank you. Line, please, line. Pulse of the 956. Till next time.